फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I am Surama Kaushik. Well, the biggest update of the day is that Team India has departed for South Africa to play the three-format series. But in those series, the white ball series especially, we won't be seeing Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. So people are asking then what's in future for Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? Well, let's hear it out from K. Srinivas Rao, Network 18 Group Sports Editor, Sahil Malhotra and Chetan Narula. Srini, we have this South Africa series, starting from 10th of December, and we all know that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli won't be there in the white ball series. So, what's in store for both of them? Where we will be seeing these two cricketers in coming months before the IPL.
Okay, where we'll be seeing these cricketers in the coming months, right? Before, obviously, we'll share our viewpoints on the subject. The important thing is, as a mark of respect to where these cricketers are coming from and what they have achieved, personally in their careers. It is important for us to first address, who they are and acknowledge the fact that it is important to understand that they might have in mind what they would like to seek from cricket in the coming few months. Like, for example, a Virat Kohli has played cricket for 15 years. A Rohit Sharma has played
Yeah.
cricket for 17, 18 years. Once you have played cricket for this amount of time and have evolved, in your respective careers, and have accomplished so much, the important thing is you yourself have gained a perspective. So I would be keen to know, and it is important to respect and acknowledge where these gentlemen are coming from and what they would like. The problem that arises, or that is likely to arise, is when what they seek and they want does not match with what the rest of the ecosystem wants or sees things as. When their mindsets don't really, when there's a clash of opinion and a clash of viewpoints between how they perceive things, how they think, and what the ecosystem, it could be anyone, it could be the selectors, the cricket board, the fans, anyone for that matter, the media, everyone. So it is the clash of opinions that gives way to different perspectives. So that is why, if you look at the careers of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, career of Mahendra Singh Dhoni in particular, what is it that fans generally tend to, or media also at certain levels tend to, kind of talk about is, यार ये बंदे को कभी बोलना नहीं पड़ा कि when your time has come. ये खुद ही realize कर दिया, right? Which has not happened with any star cricketer in the country ever. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate of whether the time had come or not come. That is, again, the debatable subject. The point is that almost in every career, we have seen something like this come to reach a stage where the debate arises. And that point in time has come in some of the contemporary careers we're talking about. Not just a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma. It could stand true for a Cheteshwar Pujara. It could stand true for an R. Ashwin. It could stand true for a Mohammad Shami. Right? And there's no disrespect and no devaluing of anybody's name, property, or something just by talking about it. Having said that, what is it that a Virat Kohli might now want to pursue, in cricket, after having played the game at the highest level, after having led India at across formats, and after having given up that captaincy in those formats? Okay, at this stage in life, where Virat, given his fitness levels, he can easily play for India for another 3 to 4 years. All right, which is not the case with Rohit. I don't see Rohit playing for that long. Virat Kohli can. Supreme fitness levels, the fittest cricketer anywhere on earth, right? At this point, given his contributions, given his level of understanding, his evolved mind, what would Virat like to contribute? How would he like to contribute for the remaining year? Does he want, the question I am trying to find an answer to is, would a Virat Kohli just want to join a group of another you bunch of youngsters and play some more T20 cricket, which he has been playing for the longest time?
Yeah.
Is that what he wants to continue doing? There could be an argument कि इसने T20 World Cup नहीं जीता है. There's an argument that Rahul Dravid ने भी T20 World Cup नहीं जीता है. There's an argument Rahul Dravid has never won a 50-over World Cup. He's never going to win a 50-over World Cup. As a cricketer, as a coach, he had his opportunities as a player. It didn't materialize. He had his opportunity as a coach. It didn't materialize. Right? It is not in Rohit Sharma's destiny to have a 50-over World Cup. He had his opportunity, he lost it. In 2019,
Yeah.
he had it, 2015, he had it, nothing worked. Virat Kohli, well, look at him. It just was there in his kismat. Like 2011, young boy comes into the team, wins the World Cup at the bang at the start of his career. He had it. Right?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
question is not about now, are you trying to prolong your destiny or are you trying to prolong and stretch your imagination in terms of the cricketer that you want to end up being remembered as? And I
Hmm.
think both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma are at that stage in their lives where they should think more from a legacy standpoint and how they want to be remembered as in terms of how they pursued their cricket rather than just kind of falling for the tamasha cricket that we talk about, which is T20,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Hmm.
If I'll end with this line because we'll keep coming back to this. Does
Hmm.
Virat Kohli see himself as ending up among the top 10 of red ball batters over the last 50 years? That's a question I would like to answer, find an answer.
Okay.
Top
Sahil,
10, top
you
15
have.
actually.
Mhm. Sahil, you've tracked Indian team in and out throughout this whole ODI World Cup, and you've been doing so from past years, quite a few years. Sahil, I want to know from you. There are several questions on this line. Virat Kohli's future, especially. One question is, does Virat Kohli really want to play T20 cricket? The question that Srini raised, that whether we see Virat Kohli amongst the top 10 batters in the red ball format. The other question is that currently, especially keeping this 2024 T20 World Cup in sight, does Team India need Virat Kohli? That's also a question. So I want to know answers to each and every question in that order.
First things first, whether Virat Kohli wants to play T20 cricket, only Virat knows that. Whether Team India needs Virat Kohli, selectors and BCCI know that. So let's leave those things aside. I think what in to address right now is this is probably this is the home stretch of his career. He's like right near the home stretch now. There's very little less to be achieved when it comes to Virat's white ball cricket. I think he's right up there when it comes to ODIs. I think probably one of the better batters we have seen across generations now, if not the best. He's probably achieved everything when it comes to ODI cricket. He has a World Cup medal. He has a World Cup runners-up medal. So he's probably right up there, when it comes to the accolades in the 50-over format. T20 cricket, when he was right up there at the prime of his career, he probably gave you two seasons to remember. 2014 and 2016, probably we saw the best of Virat Kohli in that format. Then the IPL with 900 odd runs for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. What's left there? Probably one IPL trophy, but do we take that seriously? I don't. So let's leave that too. Now what's left? We have been talking about Virat Kohli, the batter, but that missing thing is Virat Kohli in red ball cricket. If you want to end up as one of the greatest of all time, you would want Virat Kohli to excel, in this 2023-2025 World Test Championship cycle, and probably just end that weight of two runners up outings in the World Test Championship final. Just win that World Test Championship final for the country. Assert your authority. Hope that BCCI gives you sporting wickets where you can actually go out and score runs, and so be it. Right now, it's not about seeing Virat Kohli as a T20 batter. Even if both of them go on to play the 2024 World Cup in West Indies and US, even if they go on to win the World Cup, it's not going to do any much more good to the legacy which they already have put in place. What's going to change the narrative? What's going to change the mindset is the success in the red ball formats. If you would ask them to right now, both Rohit and Virat, both of them would say that red ball is where we want to end up on a high, and that is what is left to kind of achieve right now. 2027 World Cup is too far from now. Who knows what will happen to the format in that cycle? Who knows what will happen to the Indian cricket team? Who knows what will happen to the BCCI, to the ICC? 4 years
Yeah.
is a long time. We shouldn't be even looking that far ahead. What we can look forward to right now is the World Test Championship cycle. We have some amazing series lined up. The England series, the Australia
Yeah.
series, the South Africa tour. It can't get bigger than this. The challenge, the challenge, the occasion, it can't get bigger than that. Virat Kohli, as captain, 2-1 series defeat last time around, where he kind of gave up captaincy after that. Now it's a chance for him to kind of help the team breach that final frontier, because South Africa still remains as that final frontier. We have never won a test series there. We have only drawn the test series there, if I'm not wrong. So, just go out there, help the team win, do well in red ball cricket. That is something which we as fans, I as a fan personally would want, Virat Kohli to do right now, or a Rohit Sharma to do right now, because white ball के अंदर आप सिर्फ T20 World Cup देख रहे हो ना, 2025 Champions Trophies also
Yeah.
अभी दूर है. अभी even we don't know what
Yeah.
will happen after that. Probably we'll clarity on the white ball futures of these cricketers after the IPL, how their body shapes up, how they react, how they play in the IPL. A lot of things will be answered then. But for me, I think the important bit would be, the World Test Championship cycle. It's an important cycle. It's a tough cycle. You have tough matches, tough tours, tough away tours. England are going to be no cakewalk, even if you give out. And can you kind of afford to give dust bowls to them too? So, 5 Test series against England home series is going to be a good series. Then South Africa series, then Australia series. So just let's kind of allow them to kind of focus their energies on that, and that's something which I want to look forward to, other than the white ball tournaments.
Okay, Chetan, what do you think? I mean, there are a lot of talks around Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, and Sahil and Srini said a lot of things around Virat Kohli. Let's also bring in Rohit Sharma to this discussion, and I want to know your opinion. How do you see both of these cricketers in white ball cricket and red ball cricket? Do you think that their future lies in the red ball format and not in the white ball format? And also, do you see either of these players in the upcoming T20 World Cup? Because we haven't heard from you in all these past days, so would like to know that as well.
Well, first of all, uh, how do I say this? I don't have time for individual stars anymore after what has happened in the ODI World Cup. The entire ODI World Cup, abhi ho gaya hai. And the entire country was busy celebrating a person's milestones. The entire country was busy celebrating milestones, personal milestones. And I said it on the show many times, ki we need to be careful in this. Yeah, we need to be careful in disrespecting the sport, because then it only becomes about personal milestones, and we forget why we are playing the sport. Why we were playing the sport is to win the World Cup, but Indian cricket ecosystem as a whole was so busy, which includes the fans, the media, the team, the broadcasters, everybody. We were so busy in one person's milestones that we forgot what the ultimate goal was, and we paid the price for that. We disrespected the sport and we paid the price for that. That's just my opinion. People can feel differently about it. That's what I feel. That's why India lost the World Cup, despite being the best side. Okay, that's just my opinion. Let me just say that. We disrespected the sport. We paid a price for it. Now, going ahead, my opinion is just simply this: whether it's Rohit Sharma, whether it's Virat Kohli, whether it's Bumrah, whether it's anybody, XYZ, Indian cricket is what matters most. So right now, the question is not to ask you what should Virat Kohli do or what should Rohit Sharma do. The question is what should Indian cricket do? Indian cricket ka kya benefit hai? That is the question that we need an answer to. Are there people who are thinking about the benefit of Indian cricket? Whether it's Jay Shah, whether it's selectors, whether it's whoever is doing that thinking needs to think about Indian cricket. And when you think about Indian cricket, then you sit down and figure out, where does Virat Kohli feature in that? Where does Rohit Sharma feature in that? Not the other way around. Yes, these are big stars. These are individual stars. But that's what they are. They are individual stars. Right now, we have to think about the betterment of Indian cricket. Maybe I'm in the minority thinking about this way, but I am fed up. I am fed up of these individual stars. I am fed up of personal glory, celebrating personal glory. I did not come and I did not love sport or cricket for personal glory. For me, winning the World Cup was really, really important. It did not happen. Imagine not winning the T20 World Cup 6 months later. And I have been missing on your shows for the last 10 days because I've been working on another event. आप मुझे कोई जवाब दे सकता है कि T20 वर्ल्ड कप का क्या होने वाला है? Look at the T20 team. Does somebody really think beating Australia 4-1 in that series helps us win the T20 World Cup? No, absolutely not. That is a separate issue. We'll come back to that. So now, to answer your question pertinently, we need to figure out where does Virat Kohli fit into India's scheme of things. My personal opinion, he does not fit in T20 cricket. He should not be playing the 2024 T20 World Cup cricket. Thank you so much for your T20 services. ODI cricket, we can think of it from a 25 Champions Trophy point of view. Test cricket, definitely. ये क्वेश्चन नहीं है कि whether he can finish. No, he's not in the top. He's already not in the top top 10 test batsman of all time. He's not. Whether he can get there or not, that is also out of the question. But congratulations on 50 hundreds to Vansh Kothari. Congratulations to Australia on winning the World Cup. But meanwhile, so so already he's not in the top 10 test batsmen in test cricket. Can he get there in his last 4 years of test cricket? No, he can't. But we'll have to wait and watch. I think his last 4-5 years is going to be very, very difficult in test cricket. Now coming to Rohit Sharma, out of the two, if you have to take one, you have to take Rohit Sharma because he's somebody who can change gears seamlessly.
Okay, to the T20 World Cup?
T20 World Cup. But I think it's too late. Because we have what, 6? I actually don't remember how many T20s we have left. 6?
6. Yeah. 3 against South Africa, 3 against Afghanistan.
Yeah, so we have 6 T20s left. Honestly, I think it's too late. That ship has sailed. Since he's not part of the T20 structure at the moment, I think now, honestly, I don't even know who is part of the T20 structure. Koi bata sakta hai ki what is India's first choice playing 11 in T20s? I don't think anybody can. So,
which is not bad.
Huh?
Which is not bad.
Yeah, but that's not going to help us win the World Cup. No,
I know it's not bad. It's just that the selectors don't.
Let me finish. If it's good enough to win a 4-1 bilateral series against Australia's C team, good. We should be happy with that. Vansh Kothari must be really happy. India won 4-1 series against Australia. T20 World Cup nahi jeete koi fayda thode hai. Commenting ki I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm happy to be wrong. So and as for Rohit Sharma's test and ODI future. ODI again from a similar point of view. So what happened earlier was that we needed to figure out is India on the cusp of a transition. In Test cricket, we definitely are on the cusp of a transition. Are we on the cusp of a transition in ODI cricket? I think in a year's time we will be. Maybe post the 2025 Champions Trophy. It's not as far away as Sahil thinks. So yeah, I mean, you can say कि T20 World Cup is far. No, it's not far. It's 6 months later. वो अलग बात है कि उसका schedule नहीं आया है. But that's very, very different. अगर ये BCCI hosted tournament होती तो अभी तक लोग BCCI को फांसी पे चढ़ा चुके होते.
उसका तो venue भी नहीं आया. उसका तो venue भी नहीं आया.
लेकिन यहाँ पे ICC का fault है ना, इसलिए not saying anything. Correct. But that's a different conversation altogether. So in Test cricket, I still see them both. I think time that India figures out कि Test cricket में what is your leadership core group going to look like. Rohit Sharma cannot be Test captain beyond another 1.5 years because if he's the Test captain now, then you need to have a conversation with him that are you seeing him or is he seeing himself as Test captain till the 25 World Test Championship? Can he lead India till then? If not, then you need to invest in a new Test captain. They can both keep on playing. Whether it's Virat Kohli, I actually agree with Srini when he said that the last time. Virat Kohli might be given another shot at Test captaincy. I'll be happy with that. But the difference there is this Virat Kohli is a very, very different batsman than the Virat Kohli who became Test captain the first time. So is it going to have the same outcome? I'm not sure.
Hmm. Well, on that note, it reminds me of one of our conversations, Srini, in one of our live sessions only, where you said that, BCCI should try and see if Virat Kohli can be requested to take back, the Test captaincy. What about that? What do you feel about it? And do you think it's even possible?
Yeah, so this is a part of what Chetan is saying. It's not about what a Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli might want, right? It is about how BCCI wants to, take things forward. The only thing here is, BCCI may do the right thing, may not do the right thing, and there are instances to talk about both. I thought the only digression here, the only difference here is that the topic is how do we see these careers panning out, and in that how do we like kind of in our minds, how do we kind of explain what could be the possible scenarios and what should be the realistic scenarios. So to go back to the point that you were asking is in line with what Chetan was also saying, that how does BCCI want to go about, but that's again a different topic, that's again a very different subject. Like for example, captaincy, I would like to believe that I don't see any. Rohit will not play international cricket as long as Virat will play. There's no debate on that, right? Purely from a fitness standpoint, purely from that standpoint, and I'm not saying Rohit has been a terrific captain for India. Okay, he's led beautifully. From a red ball standpoint, I've said this in some of my previous shows also. Kind of from a red ball standpoint, some of the series, some of the innings that he's played. He's been a very responsible captain. He's obviously kind of Virat took the team to WTC, so did Rohit take the team to WTC.
Yeah.
So where it is due. However, the fact also remains that Rohit is not going to play any amount of cricket across any format as long as Virat does. So let's cut it here. Let me go back to white ball cricket, and then I'll come back to red ball cricket.
Okay.
50 over cricket, whether Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they play, don't play, hang their boots, whatever, I don't care. To me, next 2 years, 50 over cricket is not important at all. I'm going to start thinking about 50 over cricket after 2025, and that too bearing in mind if 2027 is relevant anymore or not. So we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. Let's come to T20 cricket. I neither see Rohit Sharma going to the Caribbean, nor I see Virat Kohli going to the Caribbean, should they see themselves going to the Caribbean. Move aside, move away, move on. Rohit Sharma, for example, there's no reason why he should go to the T20 World Cup. There's a reason I'm saying this. What are you trying to tell a Yashasvi Jaiswal, a Shubman Gill, an Ishan Kishan, and a Ruturaj Gaikwad? Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how many runs you score, doesn't matter what talent is on display in the IPL or across T20 format. We are not going to go with you. We are only going to continue with somebody who's already played this format over 17, 18 years. Right? Imagine in
Yeah.
2007 if the same thing was told to Rohit Sharma. Listen, you're too young, we want to go to the World Cup, but okay, we'll go with a Tendulkar and a Ganguly and a Dravid, okay, or whoever at that point was, right? No, an opportunity was given to a youngster, which is why we had a Rohit Sharma bloom in the first place, right? So let's go back and let's look at the same things and let's try and do some correcting. So, anyways, to cut a long story short, I don't see them playing any role in a T20 World Cup either. That leaves us with red ball cricket. Obviously, till the time Rohit plays, he remains the captain. And remember, it was Virat's decision to not continue as captain. It was Virat Kohli's decision. After the South Africa series,
Okay.
he stepped down as captain. BCCI did not
Yeah.
ask him to leave. So once he said, so let us allow Rohit to continue while he lasts. After that, there is a reason why I said Virat Kohli should continue as or should come back to take charge as red ball captain. The reason is it is not about what Virat wants, as Chetan said. This is about what the Indian team wants. And trust me, India as a team, as a nation wanting to kind of aspire red ball aspirations will be at sea without these two men around for a while going forward. Okay. Let me put it this way. The test cricket has always transitioned in phases. Okay.
Okay.
It's always been like, a captain who's kind of come, set a line of thoughts in place, like, for the next coming generation to take over. I'll give you the example of 2007, 2008. Mahendra Singh Dhoni was given the white ball captaincy in 2007, where he led India to the T20 World Cup. Coming back, he took charge in other formats. However, at that time, it was decided, it was specifically with a purpose decided, that Anil Kumble would stand in as captain for 1 year, see off that tough test series in Australia, the 2008 one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then wait for the gradual transition to happen before MSD would take charge. Right. So that transition happened gradually, and then, as you say, subsequently, Indian team came back to India, Anil Kumble left, and the transition happened. Today, if a Rohit Sharma and a Virat Kohli were to move out of the red ball format, do you see a guy who's naturally equipped to take over as a leader in this team? I don't personally. Anybody who's been, kind of, you could take a risk, invest in a youngster, invest in a Shubman, but then do that.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
you have not arrived at that point where you are capable of taking a risk, then I believe you should go back to a Virat Kohli, because again, as a test cricketer, he's got to be right there. Now, that's where I'll come back to the legacy standpoint I was making. As
Okay.
Chetan said, that even if he were to play for the next 3 years, 4 years, he may not go on to come rank among the top 10 batsmen. He still may not
Hmm.
rank among the top 10
Hmm.
or top 12, whatever, right? So what is in it for him? He will still rank as among India's finest test captains. He will rank as among those guys who transitioned India to the next level from a red ball format.
Why are we still
Today
talking
we
about why are we talking from his perspective? That's my
that's
my
because
problem again.
that's what I'm
Bar
saying.
bar we are moving into the same thing. We are again
Now,
focusing on
why
one individual perspective.
I'll tell you why we are talking about it from a Virat's perspective. If we were to talk about this BCCI's perspective, there are several other factors. We'll leave it a different show for it. I can't bring in BCCI's factor. If we need to
I'm not
schedule a
saying that.
different show to
Nee,
talk
I'm not
about
talking from
BCCI
BCCI
perspective.
perspective. We need to talk about from Indian cricket's perspective. There's more to Indian cricket
That's what
than just
Indian cricket's perspective would
we
not
need
just
to
involve
question.
Virat. One second. Indian
You
cricket's
finish. You finish.
perspective
Then
would
I'll.
not just
You finish.
involve
Then
Virat's perspective. It would involve the selector's perspective, the BCCI's perspective. It would
precisely.
involve
That's
all
what
their
we should
perspectives.
be talking about.
That would take, you can't talk about Virat, selectors, BCCI. The question that she asked me was pertaining to
Hmm.
Virat Kohli, so I'm trying to answer
Yeah.
her question. It is
Yeah.
about things from Virat Kohli's perspective. What was your question? Your question was about that, right? From a player's
Right.
perspective.
Players'
That's what I'm
perspective.
trying to answer, right? I do understand where you're coming from, where BCCI perspective should, like, whether it should matter, what it should be. I think we can schedule another show on that.
Yeah.
Point.
No, no.
Let me
What you mentioned was a
going back to
transition.
Virat.
I will
Going back to
respond to you
Virat.
about the transition. Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to Virat.
Chetan, I'll come to you. Yeah.
What going back to Virat, what I'd like to see, I'm not saying Virat Kohli should do this, Virat Kohli should do that. What I, as somebody who's tracking cricket, would like to see is probably Virat Kohli using those next 2.5, 3 years to continue leading India from a certain perspective where red ball cricket is concerned. I would like to sincerely believe that only three men from a modern day standpoint made a difference to India's test cricket captaincy as a whole. Like, I mean, Kapil Dev,
Okay.
Saurav Ganguly, Virat Kohli. Mahendra Singh
Okay.
Dhoni does not rank anywhere. Rohit Sharma is right up there, but not in the same bracket as Virat Kohli from a red ball
Okay.
captaincy perspective. Today we
Okay.
like to feel very good about this whole fast bowling machinery that India has at its disposal, right? If
Yeah.
not for Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri combination, that red ball dream would not have kind of achieved the kind of fruition that it did, right? So credit where
Okay.
it is due. Virat has a lot of credit to take away from where it is.
Okay.
So from that perspective, I'd like to probably see him continue in that bracket, and
Hmm.
by the time he goes away, cement his legacy as someone whose contribution in red ball cricket
Mhm.
mattered while as long as he lasted. That's what I want to
Hmm.
see of Virat Kohli. Whether he scores runs by the tons, whatever he does. But that's the legacy. That's somewhere a big picture that I want to look at, not white ball. I don't care what, one day
Okay.
cricket, as I said, doesn't matter. And he's not going to go for T20 World Cup. So let's put that out of the scene.
Huh. So red ball format is the format that matters the most. Chetan, you wanted to say something about the transition phase, you know. So what are your
First,
thoughts on that?
I'll talk about the bowling attack. 2018 में Perth में he selected Virat Kohli selected 4 fast bowlers at the Perth Test match, and I asked him, how it feels to be blessed with such a bowling attack, such a pace bowling attack. Press conference में Perth के Optus Stadium के press conference में I asked him, and he said, I had nothing to do with this bowling attack. They were all transformed into such wonderful bowlers, and I happened to be the captain at the time when they have transformed into such brilliant bowlers. They were the same bowlers. Umesh Yadav was there, Ishant Sharma was there. Those guys were there when MS Dhoni was captain. It's a player's transformative journey that happens, and Virat Kohli happened to be the captain at that time. I'm not saying it is he had nothing to do with it, or Ravi Shastri had nothing to do with it, but I think it's not just it's not like he nurtured those fast bowlers personally and all. It's just that he happened to have those fast bowlers and he was able to unleash them in a way that he did. And I don't think there are many other test captains who could have unleashed those fast bowlers the way he did. So that's where the credit actually lie. Yeah, you probably haven't covered a lot of cricket in respect,
No,
so you don't know corner
no.
play.
I'll come back to you
Anyways,
on this.
yes,
I find it very
my
interesting. I'll come back to you on this.
yeah. But I'm giving Virat Kohli credit for this because the
No. But
way
you
he
completed. You completed.
yeah,
Which series are you talking about?
India Australia 2018, where David Warner
Hmm.
and Steve Smith did not play. That was the first India Australia that India won 2-0. 2-0 they won, right? So what Virat Kohli brought to the Test captaincy was very exciting. He took out the draws, even when playing in India. जब वो 400 के target, he would always give a target of 400, 420. He would rarely give the follow on. And I asked him, is this a form of aggression to you? And he said yes. When the side is batting fourth, and you take away the possibility of a draw, it's either a loss or a win. They can't draw the game because they're batting for 2 days. They're chasing 400 plus. So that is the way Virat Kohli led in Test captaincy was very, very different. I'm not going to give him credit for the team that he had because that just happened to be under him. Because the players were under transition post 2011-12, they just grew into the players they were. But to be able to unleash them, I don't think any other captain would have been able to do that, because that was something unique to Virat Kohli. And I think like I said before, I agree with Srini. If he's offered the Test captaincy again for the next 2, 3, 4 years, I think that'll be very, very interesting to watch. But like I said, he's a very different batsman at the moment than he was in 2015 or 2014, in fact, when he became Test captain. So it is very interesting. I would love to see it happen, but he's a very, very different player at the moment. जहां तक हम इंडियन क्रिकेट की बात कर रहे हैं, we need to again talk about it from the perspective of where the respective teams stand in the different formats. Is there a transition happening in Test side? Yes. Is there a transition about to happen in the ODI side? Yes. Is there already a transition that has happened in the T20 side? Yes. So now we need to ask. These questions need to be put to the chairman of selectors, Mr. Ajit Agarkar, and asked, do you have a vision for Indian cricket going ahead? Because when we look back, the people who retired Sachin Tendulkar, the people who retired Rahul Dravid and VVS and Saurav Ganguly and all, and even MS Dhoni, they had a vision that you guys have done great for Indian cricket. But jo bhi hai, whether as a captain or as a players, your roles are now different. Now it is time for somebody else to step up into those roles, be it as captain, be it as players, to drive the teams forward in different formats. And that driving force has to come from the BCCI. That driving force has to come from the selectors who represent the BCCI. ठीक है, हमको एक दूसरा शो करना पड़ेगा, इसके लिए कीजिए. But more than this question, that question is very, very important. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma are important as individual stakeholders for Indian cricket, but only from an IPL perspective, where their personalities, where their brand values mixes with IPL. It doesn't hold anything for Indian cricket anymore, because Indian cricket is at a very, very delicate stage. If we do not have a blueprint for the future, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever it is, it's going to be a disaster, absolute disaster.
Yeah,
Because
That's
again,
why
one
I'm
thing,
again,
Srini mentioned.
I'm
IPL
again going
doesn't
to
Srini
figure in
ask,
this.
mentioned
We
that
can
let's
go on
not.
continue.
I'm again going to ask this question: can we afford to not win the T20 World Cup 6 months
One
after
second.
losing the ODI World Cup? No. But do we have a blueprint for it? No. So what are we even doing? That's
1 second. This
I
is.
think we are
I'm
digressing
sorry.
from the
Number
our
one.
topic
Number
because I
one.
think we were talking about the
Virat.
red
One
ball
second.
format.
Virat Kohli. IPL doesn't figure. IPL he can go on playing till 40. That's got nothing to do with the
I'm
cricket.
talking from a
You
personal
know.
brand value situation. I'm
Why
talking
not?
from
If
a personal
RCB
brand
feels,
value situation.
if RCB feels Virat Kohli is capable of playing cricket for them till he's 40, if Virat Kohli feels he wants to continue playing IPL till
I'm not talking about
40,
the
why
capability
should
of playing.
anybody have a problem with that?
I'm talking about the personal brand value situation.
Well,
There is, we
how
have
has
to
that
we have
got
to
to do with a business?
we have
How is
we have,
that? What has that
there is
got
there's
to do with a
always
business arrangement between RCB and Virat Kohli? I don't understand. What is the
RCB.
relation?
I never mentioned
That's
RCB.
a business
I'm
arrangement.
just talking about the players. I'm just talking about the
Second is
players' brand value
T20
as individual players. It has nothing to do with RCB or Mumbai Indians.
No, I don't again get the brand value part. Brand value has again got
There is a
nothing to do
brand
with the
value attached
IPL,
to it.
right?
So
Matlab,
players
I
nowadays
didn't
don't
understand.
retire from format. Players nowadays don't retire from formats. It has been happening for a few years now.
So is the case with Mahendra Singh
That
Dhoni, but Chennai Super Kings
because
wants him
that
to be
hurts
there.
because that hurts their
So
personal brand
Qatar
value.
Airways, 1 second, in 2 years
That is
from now,
because that
Qatar says, 1 second, in 2 years from now, Qatar says, okay, boss, we are tired of RCB. They are not winning a single title, but we don't mind continue staying with you as long as Virat Kohli says. Then is that the brand value talking about?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Qatar Airways has come on board paying
That
75
is not
crore,
beneficial to Indian
but
cricket in
that's not
any
the
way.
point.
That is
That's
not
not the
beneficial to
point.
Indian
Yeah.
cricket anyway. I'm talking about
That's
see. That's what I'm saying. Ki, we need to really shift away from the individual valuations at this moment.
but
We need to talk
Chetak
about
still
where Indian cricket is heading. अगर आपको इंटरनेशनल में भी देखना है तो वेयर इज इंडियन क्रिकेट हेडिंग. आपने ये बोला कि लेट्स ऑफर विराट कोहली द टेस्ट कैप्टनसी. आई एम सेइंग दैट्स अ ग्रेट आइडिया because that benefits Indian cricket. We need to start looking at the benefit of
Arey
Indian
Baba,
cricket perspective.
I understand where you are coming from. It's just that I am trying to stick to the
So
question that she's raising.
हाँ,
Yeah.
so that's what I said कि इस चीज को छोड़ो, individual brand values को आप छोड़ो, individual चीजों को आप
मैं
छोड़ो.
नहीं बोला brand
अरे
value.
हाँ,
No. So
अरे
we're not talking.
wait,
Huh.
I am talking about the transition. So that's why I said कि इन चीजों को side में छोड़ो, come back to the transition, to the point of transition. What you talked about was when Virat Kohli became captain, there had already been a transition in Indian cricket, and it was pan format. It was pan format from
वो नीचे देखो लिख के आ रहा है.
from 2011. यहाँ पे क्या लिखा आ रहा है?
Should Virat Kohli be offered Test captaincy again?
So we are talking about that only. We're talking about that only, ना? That's what I said कि individuals को जो उनके individual matters हैं उनको आप side रखिए. उनको
कोई साहिल को
individually
भी बोला.
benefit कर रहा है उसको side
No,
रखिए.
we're not talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's keep this
yeah.
aside because
हाँ.
we.
So what I'm saying is
I
कि
think
you have to look at it from a transition point of view. Should Virat Kohli be offered the Test captaincy? Yes, he should be. Should
Okay.
there be is there a transition ongoing in Test cricket? Yes. Should there be a transition in ODI cricket? Maybe a year from now, yes. But again, all of these questions need to be answered from an Indian cricket perspective, not from the perspective of what benefits Virat Kohli, what benefits Rohit Sharma. No, not
okay,
from that perspective.
Okay, I understood your point. I understood that. And, Sahil, let's come to you. And, I want to know your point of view because that's a very simple question. Just one question. Should Virat Kohli be offered Test captaincy again or not? Just that. And, I want to know it in a plain sense.
छोटा सा rewind first, before that happens. Lot has been said about Virat, the Test captain. I've had numerous discussions with a lot of people around his Test captaincy. I think Virat Kohli leaving Test captaincy was till date the biggest loss to Indian cricket. If people can continue arguing in favor or against, I think he was probably one player and captain who injected that winning mentality, we did not win that games abroad. So be it. We did not
Sahil, we
into
can't hear
that
you.
mentality to win games abroad.
Sahil can't hear you. Can't
Sahil, we
hear you,
can't
Sahil.
hear you.
Can't hear you.
There's some network issue from Sahil's end. Sahil, can you hear us?
Some
No,
network problem.
okay. So there's some network problem. Okay, so let's shift to the second part of our show that we usually do. We've had a lot of discussion around Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So generally, we ask. Okay, Sahil has joined, so I'll quickly take Sahil's point, and then we'll move to the rapid fire round of all the questions because there are a number of comments coming for Srini, Chetan, and Sahil around Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma's future. Sahil, can you hear us?
Am I
Yeah, we
audible
can
now?
see you. Yes. Quickly,
Okay.
Sahil,
So,
yes.
yeah. So first, just the Test captaincy bit. Virat Kohli leaving Test captaincy, in my view, as a journalist, as someone who has played the game at a certain level in the past, has watched the game for a lot of time, I think was the biggest loss to Indian cricket till date. Virat, the Test captain, no doubt about that. He should have been there. Now we are kind of digressing from one important fact is that till date Rohit Sharma, the Test captain, hasn't been tested. His biggest test probably was during the 4 Test series against Australia in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And if you would ask my opinion whether he came out with flying colors, I'm sorry, he fell short on a lot of occasions in that Test series. The pitches were doing everything for you. Your captaincy wasn't really tested in those conditions. What will be Rohit's biggest test in Test cricket? It will be the series against South Africa, the 5 Test series against England, the series against Australia. You need to take those series into account. Till date, Rohit hasn't been tested as Test captain. So it is very important for Indian cricket to have that continuity with Rohit Sharma right now, at least for 1.5 year. Have Virat Kohli around because the transition in Tests actually began during that Australia tour where we saw someone like Ishant Sharma stepping aside. Umesh Yadav became your second, third choice bowler when the likes of Mohammad Siraj actually emerged on the scene. And all credit for that, yes, Chetan did mention that Virat didn't take credit for that, but I think the rise of Mohammad Siraj, all credit has to go to Virat Kohli because he unleashed the beast inside him. All said and done. Mohammad
When
Siraj
Mohammad Siraj
became the
wasn't there in 2018.
Huh? No, मैं
When
year
Mohammad
miss
was
किया. I'm talking about the year where he took the fifer when his father passed away during that lockdown. वो year गलत
Virat
mention.
20, yeah,
Kohli wasn't
2021.
in that series.
No, he went
Virat Kohli
home
was
after
not.
the first Test. He went home after the first Test, but
Yeah.
Mohammad Siraj coming into the Test arena was a lot of credit must go to the likes of Ravi Shastri, Bharat Arun, and Virat Kohli. It's a fact.
Of course he's right.
We can't go away from that because
No,
that
and
mentality for
2018,
fast
by the way,
bowlers.
2018, by the way, that same series you're talking about, where did Jasprit Bumrah come from?
Yeah.
Who sat down and identified Jasprit Bumrah?
Ravi Shastri and Bharat Arun.
So
You think it was out of the air and Virat had no role to play in that?
They are on record about this. Ravi Shastri
Who's
and
on
Bharat
record?
Arun are on record.
What?
On record
Ravi said
about
Virat
this.
had nothing to do with it. You said are you telling me Ravi said Virat had nothing to do with it?
Precisely, I'm telling you that.
Really?
I'm telling you
Okay.
that. Yes.
That's news to
precisely.
me.
South
That's
Africa
news to
tour
me.
से पहले अक्टूबर में Ravi Shastri and Bharat Arun had a conversation that we need to prepare Jasprit Bumrah for the first Test in Cape Town.
Which are you saying? Which you?
He's on record about this.
Sorry.
He's on record about this. He's on record about this in 2018 Test series. Mein.
No, but
Absolutely,
Chetan is
yes.
trying to say that it can't be without the captain getting a wind of it, right? Because the coach can't unilaterally.
He's
decide
saying
on the-
you're literally telling me Virat had nothing to do, no idea
I'm
about
sure
what.
No. Are you no? See, I'm not saying Virat had no idea. That's not possible, right? But are you say if you're talking about giving credit, I'm telling you where the credit really
If
is.
you're talking about what
Letting
Virat
Bumrah
wanted,
into-
if you're talking about what
from
Ravi was
getting-
thinking, if
from
you're
getting
talking
Bumrah
about what
into
Bharat
the
Arun
Test
was
arena.
thinking. Sorry?
No. Look. I'm not saying that Virat had no idea about it. Obviously, Virat had an idea about it. But if you're asking me who is the real
I'm not
creditor
asking,
here,
I'm telling you.
I am
I'm not
telling you.
asking you.
And I'm also telling you that it was Ravi Shastri and Bharat Arun and not Virat Kohli.
okay, so okay, let's end this here. And Sahil, I'll take Sahil's point ahead, and then we'll move to the rapid fire round. So Sahil mentioned that
So,
realistically,
transition.
to look at Rohit Sharma.
We were talking about the transition. No, the transition. Both these gentlemen, we all agree on that fact for a change in this show that transition in
Yeah.
tests can't be an overnight thing. It has to be phased out. So phase one began
Yeah.
when we started sidelining the likes of Umesh Yadav, Ishant Sharma. Umesh was still your SG test bowler, but with the Duke's ball, he's good for nothing with the control he has. So he's out of the scheme of things. Chiteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rane were phased out. Pujara did exceedingly well in the county circuit, made a comeback, but is back out of the reckoning now. Ajinkya Rane was your SOS call for the World Test Championship final, but with Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul now agreeing to bat in the middle order and keep wickets, he's out of the picture too. So that Test transition 2.0 has begun. That's begun. Right now,
Okay.
it's important for say चलो अब वही बात बोलते थे for Indian cricket, for Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to be around for this World Test Championship cycle, for Rohit Sharma to showcase his Test captaincy skills. I personally feel अभी तक वो test नहीं हुआ है. There's still time
Okay.
for us to kind of declare that what Rohit has done in white ball cricket and in the IPL, I don't see that as translated into Test captaincy success yet because he hasn't been challenged yet. The only challenge was the 4 Test series against Australia at home on pitches which I don't agree with. So abhi Australia series hai, South Africa series hai. That's enough sample size for you to kind of judge Rohit the Test captain. You have Jasprit Bumrah as the vice captain. Probably KL Rahul will at some stage figure in the leadership core group. Identify that second leader. I know we all want Virat Kohli, the Test captain, to return, but personally, I don't see that happening. Whether that should happen or not, of course, it should happen. But whether it will happen,
Ideally,
yeah,
it should.
no, I agree.
Ideally, that would be great.
Yeah, it will be great for Indian
Ideally, it
cricket
would
for
be great, but
everything. But I
It's not.
don't
There's
see,
yeah.
no.
the kind of personality Virat is, the kind
The
of way he
point
has.
is, what I was also thinking was, if not Rohit and Virat, then who, right now in the
Who?
given
Uh,
circumstances, who do you hand it to? That's my only
uh,
problem.
I think they are
By the
kind
way,
of looking at.
the answer there lies in also the very interesting point that you made, where Rohit really did not get tested as captain, which again is not his fault. The point is
Yeah, he
India
just
wasn't
took over
playing
last year.
any
Last
red
year.
ball cricket overseas. With
Yeah.
Virat and that
hmm.
particular window where Ravi had come in as coach, those 2.5 years is when India had its best of challenges abroad. So
Yeah.
it started with the 2018 tour of South Africa, England, Australia, then Australia, England, South Africa back. It's just that South Africa again. I mean, when he retired, rather gave up Test captaincy, was exactly when Ravi had gone out. It was his first series in those 2.5 years without Ravi in charge.
Yeah.
When Rahul Dravid had just about taken over. From there on, if you leave aside Rohit's presence, had Rohit not been available, okay, I think we would have been completely at sea where red ball leadership is concerned. Tell me
Yeah.
one
So,
guy who was
KL Rahul was your only option
consistently.
then.
KL was the only
Srini,
option,
Yeah.
which I thought was the initial thing. When I mean, I've tweeted about this also.
Srini, I
The
have a question,
day
please.
Virat Kohli, one second, I'm coming back. But the day Virat Kohli gave up captaincy, when that statement came that I'm stepping down as captain, that
Hmm.
evening, if you see on my Twitter feed, I had put out a tweet saying KL Rahul to take over, right? Which is
Mhm.
exactly what Rahul Dravid wanted at that time. He wanted the captaincy to
Okay.
be transitioned to KL Rahul. Okay, except that there were, and this is not me saying, this is RD Rahul Dravid's view that KL should have been given Test captaincy from a futuristic standpoint. The reason why Rohit Sharma was considered seriously and from a kind of 2 year perspective was that nobody was sure if KL was capable. Nobody was sure if KL had reached a stage where he was capable of handling red ball captaincy. Whereas in Rohit's case, the determination he had shown in the last 2 years, the England series,
Hmm.
etc., to
Yeah.
establish himself as a red ball batter, gave them that
Hmm.
confidence to kind of, here
Hmm.
is a guy who's got his head hold about his shoulder, like, kind of take over the responsibility, which is not fine, which is fine. But I still feel that over the next 2 years, the reason I'm insisting is because there is nobody right now in the ecosystem from a personal view. Others could have a different opinion. From a personal view, whether you consider a KL, whether you consider a Bumrah or
Hmm.
whoever, and if that choice had to be with Virat taking over as the leader, I don't see
Hmm.
any confusion in my mind. I mean, it for the benefit of as Chetan said, for the benefit of Indian cricket, not about what Virat
Yeah.
wants. Sorry, Chetan, you were
Hmm.
asking me something.
Yeah, so you said obviously I agree with you that Virat Kohli should be the future of Test captaincy. I mean, going ahead, what happens to Rohit Sharma? Has he expressed that okay, I don't want to be Test captain or I don't want to
No,
continue
I
in
didn't
Test.
say that. No? I said once Rohit is done, because Rohit is obviously not going to continue as far as Virat will continue, as long as Virat will continue. So
Yeah, eventually.
what if Rohit decides? What if
Hmm.
Rohit decides after he comes back from South Africa, plays the
Hmm.
tour against series against England, and plays the IPL, and then says I'm quitting? Then what happens? Who goes to Australia as captain?
So you're
Chetan.
saying so your suggestion is only when Rohit gives up Test captaincy. Is
Obviously,
that
obviously,
what you're
why
saying?
should captaincy be taken away from Rohit?
No, I just wanted
Of,
clarification from you.
of course, of course, of course.
No, but
If
Okay.
one thing I
Pivot.
want to ask Srini, right now we are kind of looking at a scenario, a situation, probably where everything is happening in the right direction in Test cricket. I want to be like the bad cop here. We go to South Africa, 2 tests, comprehensively beaten. England come home, beat us. होगा नहीं होगा अलग बात है. What if this happens? Will we be in a situation to kind of persist with Rohit Sharma then? Because see, अभी टेस्ट क्रिकेट के अंदर there is not much to write about when it comes to Rohit Sharma, the test captain. BGTV, if
देखो,
you kind of just 1 second, if you just look back at Border Gavaskar Trophy, and if you just remove Akshar Patel from that 11 and his contributions from those matches, that series could have been, the scoreline could have been much different and much worse for us. After the first 2 tests, the Delhi test was probably we escaped. We just managed to escape there. Indore, we saw what all happened, and Ahmedabad, we were defensive enough to have that wicket which kind of dished out a draw. तो
पिच
अगर
के
ये
बारे में तो
नहीं पिच नहीं, मैं
तो
कह रहा हूँ
खैर,
अगर ये जो अभी जो आगे का सैंपल साइज टेस्ट क्रिकेट में दिख रहा है, इंडियन क्रिकेट इकोसिस्टम का कितना पेशेंस रहेगा रोहित शर्मा के साथ अगर ये 2 सीरीज के अंदर डिजायरेबल रिजल्ट्स नहीं
अगर आप
आते.
बोल रहे हो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली बीटन, वो जो होने नहीं वाला, बट फिर भी सिंस यू प्लेइंग बैड कॉप और आप बोल रहे हो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली बीटन, तो तब तो वो एक, so see that then that becomes a matter of selection. If you're telling me that you go to South Africa, you get comprehensively beaten there, you come back here, you get comprehensively beaten at home in England, तब तो वो फिर रोहित रहे या विराट रहे, you have to think of it, because at the end of the day
Huh.
performance has to be judged basis what
Yeah.
you're watching, right? Point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make is, if things go even kind of on an average, if things go as per what you're planning, you can't be comprehensively beaten in both these series, but again, I'm saying if things go as planned, then I don't see any reason why you should take away the captaincy, if other than the
Okay.
fact that Rohit himself is I don't see any. तुम ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज की बात कर रहे हो, पिच, you know, pitch for a World Cup final also, pitch for Australia series also, and pitch when Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri were there as a combination also. Perennially, pitch has been, we are bad players of spin. This is not about Rohit Sharma. We are essentially bad batters against quality spin. Our middle order can't really, if not for a Shreyas Iyer, that Kanpur test was gone. So we are basically bad batsmen, poor
No,
batsmen
Srini,
against quality
on,
spin.
on this only, I've asked these questions to numerous people who have covered the game probably before me. So I'll ask this question to Chetan too. Let's take the Indore pitch as your experiment strip. On an Indore pitch against good spinners, say someone like a Shane Warne, Stuart McGill, or Graham Swan, उन लोगों के आगे, do you see the likes of Rahul, Lakshman, Ganguly kind of doing what we expect this current lot to do? Were the pitches this bad back then? I just want to ask that. Were they this bad? Because Indore was a howler. That was a minefield. So वैसा pitches उस टाइम पे रहता था कि हम इतना अभी critical होते हैं कि हमारा middle order spin नहीं है. Ajinkya Rahane has gone on record and said that the pitches have been really difficult in the last couple of test
Wankhede
cycles.
2004.
One pitch.
No, Sahil.
Okay. Sahil. Okay. So
VVS
Chetan,
Lakshman VVS
Chetan,
Lakshman
I would
was
request
in
you to
Wankhede
No,
2004.
no. Just to
Chetan,
answer Sahil.
Chetan, I would request you to just give a one-liner answer or so, because I've just 5 minutes with me and we have
There's no
reserved those 5
one-liner
minutes
answer,
for
but
viewers.
I'll try.
So
No
just
one-liner
just a
answer, but
short
I'll try.
answer, because we have a
Yes.
lot of questions and I have only 5 minutes with me. So yes.
Yeah, if you allow me to speak.
Yeah,
Look,
sure. Go ahead.
not just about कि आप किस pitches पे खेल रहे हो, it's about how you're playing spin. And this current Indian batting order, since 2014 onwards, or even 2014 onwards, when they all came together, they have collectively failed against spin on numerous occasions, and not on just ranked turners. Ajinkya Rahane has been part of many of those failures. Gaul against Moeen Ali in England, against Nathan Lyon in Australia, collectively, un pitches pe. Adelaide ka last test match where Virat Kohli is standing and scoring 100, no Indian batsman had the balls to stand up with him or wo test match hame jita dete when we're chasing 310. Then obviously you go to England in 2014, all of them packing up against Moeen Ali on those pitches. We went, हम श्रीलंका जा रहे हैं गॉल में fourth innings में what are we chasing? We were chasing something very paltry, got shot out in 2 sessions. They were all part of this. Rohit Sharma, Vara, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Ajinkya Rahane, they've all been part of this batting lineup. We have failed again and again spin. When you are playing on indoor pitches, it becomes a lottery. It does not mean that they are playing well against spin otherwise also. So ये तो आप रहने दो. वो बोलेंगे ही ना कि हम तो अच्छे हैं spin के against. But the statistics tell you something else.
Okay.
Is that short enough for you?
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chetan, because the viewers want your time, not me, because I've heard a lot of things from you. The viewers are waiting to hear.
No. Yeah. Just one thing. The fact that you have given Moeen Ali 20 plus wickets playing in England on multiple tours, just that alone defines you how bad you are against spin as a batting lineup. Rest my case. Moeen Ali. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah. Let's shift to the rapid fire round. I've just 5 minutes. We'll quickly pick up 2-3 questions. And the first question is about broadcasters. Broadcasters will eat up ICC alive if Kohli doesn't play T20 World Cup 2024, that too in USA. Srini, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, he doesn't know how broadcasters and ICC work. So, anyway, go on, Srini.
Srini, yeah.
It's I mean, I do. I'm sure he's looking at a sort of a big picture where कि viewership को क्या होगा अगर विराट कोहली नहीं खेलेंगे तो. I mean, that's his way of putting it is different.
Yeah.
But what he wants to say is what will happen to the viewership if Virat Kohli plays. I'll just divide it into two halves. Any which ways, whether Virat Kohli plays or Don Bradman, God bless the viewership, because you are playing 11.5 hours behind India's prime time. So viewership though is going to be a disaster any which ways. The T20 World Cup in Caribbean is a disaster. Just because West Indies plays good T20 cricket doesn't mean you host the T20 cricket in West Indies. You bring West Indies here in India to play. But anyways, the ICC ka kya jata hai? Somebody else is footing the bill here. That said, what will happen to the viewership if Virat Kohli plays? I don't know, but definitely viewership in the future will take a huge beating if India fails to respect the young T20 stars that it keeps throwing up from time to time. Right? I would like the fact that, for me, it's a very simple thing. What do I tell a Rinku Singh? A guy like kind of who comes from nowhere, kind of finds his place under the T20 sun, kind of makes a mark for himself. You give him every single opportunity, goes out there, makes it count. What do I tell a Rinku Singh? That doesn't matter what you do. You're not a star enough for me to play for India, because my mind is fixed in terms of who I want to play. Think about it. This is as Chetan said, this is not about Virat Kohli, right? So this is not about.
They're already stars. Look at the look at the recent T20 series. I mean, houseful.
Okay, so this is just two parts of the. Okay,
understand. I'm saying this that from a Team India World Cup standpoint, the question is about the World Cup, specifically about the World Cup, not about the Indian team. And I'm saying that as a format, it's a very simple filter needs to apply. That form needs to matter, age needs to matter, mindset needs to matter. Okay. Any cricketer heading there with any bit of baggage is not useful for me in a T20 standpoint. And I think 15 years, 17 years of playing the format and not accomplishing what was expected ends up leaving you with a lot of baggage. And that baggage is not healthy. At some point in time, I had to move on. Do I want to move on from watching Virat Kohli as a T20 cricketer? No, he can continue playing IPL till the cows come back home. That is between him and the RCB, as long as both find it fit. But when Team India is concerned from a World Cup standpoint, I would like the BCCI and the selectors to look at new and upcoming youngsters who need to be rewarded with a World Cup slot for whatever they have contributed.
Okay, so I should be on the young talent. The second question, people can question Ajinkya and Pujara for their mediocre performance past 3 years, but no question on Kohli. Why so much favoritism for one player? Chetan, you're smiling, so okay, this
Yeah, I'm
question,
not
I'll give
answering
it
that.
to you.
No, I think Sahil should answer that. Or
Okay, it's
Vansh
a
Kothari. Or
passing,
Vansh Kothari
passing the
should answer
parcel
that.
going on here. No, no,
Or
passing the
Vansh
parcel going on
Kothari
here.
should
Okay.
answer that.
No, I'll answer this. I'll answer
No,
this.
no,
No,
no.
Yes,
Vansh
it
It's
was.
Kothari should
Karthik's
answer this.
question.
He's
Sahil
saying
will
that
answer.
cricket will end if Virat Kohli goes away.
No.
No,
See,
but
Ajin,
I think he must be a good fan of Virat Kohli.
Ajinkya,
Yes, Sahil,
Ajinkya
please
and
answer.
Ajinkya and Pujara both were omitted from the test squad. Both did get their shot back. Both of them were recalled. After that little experiment with Hanuma Vihari at number 3, Pujara was recalled. Ajinkya Rane did get a life with the World Test Championship final. He did exceedingly well. Yes, was lucky in both the innings, with some rub of the green going his way. But I think the West Indies tour kind of put the last nail in this coffin that, yeah, boss, your test career is over. With Virat Kohli, yes, performances haven't been consistent in the last 3 years. I think that wait of 1025 days, if I'm not wrong, or 1026 days of 100 in test cricket, that was a very long one. But from my coverage of Border Gavaskar Trophy, from seeing him bat, I think probably he gave you one of his finest innings in Test cricket at Kotla. 40 odd runs he scored in those conditions. He gave you a good account of himself there. Now, has he done like bad to be dropped from the side? I will slightly disagree from that. Uske runs nahi aaye hai. That's there, but koi favoritism wasn't at play there. Ajinkya Rane and Cheteshwar Pujara, there a lot of things were missing from their armory, and the writing was more or less on the wall because you had a Shubman Gill to be accommodated. Right now, we don't have a number 4 ready right yet, and Shreyas Iyer is just returning to the Test arena. So you just can't do a knee-jerk reaction, and one fine day you just can't wipe off the entire middle order. So
Huh,
this is where I
right.
think थोड़ा सा इसको cushion extra मिल गया, and
And
deservingly so. He's a
Okay.
Test captain. बहुतों
also,
को
I
मिला.
don't agree with both being dropped. Huh? I
Okay.
personally do believe Ajinkya should have gone for the series.
Okay. Okay, we'll discuss that on another live show. Chetan, this one's for you. There's no option because this is the last one we're taking, and the question is from Arsh Singh. He's asking, why don't we replicate in our country's conditions in practice? Why don't Shubman Gill, Gaikwad, and others are told to play in county cricket to get to know the conditions better? What do you think? Should they be
Why
asked to
only
play?
replicates in our country's conditions? We live in a very different climate. I mean, I don't know how are you going to replicate conditions in England, conditions in India? I think maybe
No, I think he meant
anyway.
sending them
Very
abroad to probably get a taste of those
To,
no, no,
conditions.
wait.
huh.
That's the second question, and
Or
we'll come
giving
to that.
them bouncy pitches here.
That's a very different question. जो आप बोल रहे हो, that's the second question he asked. The first question is कि we live in a very geographically different location, so we can't really do that. The second is we can try. We try with Dharamshala and we try with NCA with different pitches. But that's as far as replication of those conditions go. You can't build a Perth here. You can't build a Manchester here. You can't bring those grey clouds here.
Yeah.
That happens
But
there.
you can
You can't replicate.
you
You can build the
but you
pitches
can
to a degree, to an
you can for
extent.
sure give them.
You can't. No, wait. Listen. Let me explain. No? You
Mhm.
can't replicate why Perth is because of not just the pitch. It's because of everything around it. Why Manchester is Manchester, why Leeds is not because of the pitch, but because of everything around it. Leeds में आपको नहीं पता है कि ऊपर किस कलर का स्काई होने वाला है हर घंटे में. Which not you can make a very swing friendly condition. You can make swing friendly conditions in Dharamshala, but the sun comes up in Dharamshala. It necessarily doesn't come up in Leeds. So that's one reason. Geographical locations matter. ICC Academy जो है दुबई में, they have 3 grounds side by side with different pitches, with soil from different parts of the world. So you can play on a Mumbai pitch, you can play on a Perth pitch, you can play on a Manchester pitch, on all of those grounds. But खेल तो आप दुबई में रहे हो. Overhead तो sun ही है ना. So
So you're
you
talking
can have
about the
characteristic
geographical
of the pitches.
conditions.
Yeah, you can have the characteristic of those pitches, but you can't replicate. Because now, why don't a Shubman Gill,
You can
Gaikwad,
get the
Jaiswal are going to play in county cricket to get to know the conditions better? I'm sure it'll happen. These guys are very young. These guys are at the start of their cricket careers. The guys you have mentioned. Obviously, they are busy playing IPL in April, May, so they can't go and play county cricket in April, May. और मई के बाद वैसे ही काउंटी क्रिकेट रुक जाता है बिकॉज दे हैव टू प्ले देयर 100. आई थिंक जून में फिर भी चल रहा होता है. July, August is where it stops, and then September it begins again. So I'm sure in the future they'll find windows. A lot of Indian players are finding windows nowadays to go. बहुत rarely हम देखते हैं कि there's a Pujara who goes and plays the entire season. I think that's not going to be happening too often. So all the players need to find, as it is, their international calendars, their IPL calendars are so busy. You need to find those gaps. You need to find those spaces. What we will see is players go and play 4-5 matches a season over there. I'm sure these guys will do that. The big thing is that the India A tours have begun. Abhi ab South Africa tour jab aa raha hai, you will see that India A is also playing in South Africa. Post pandemic, this is probably the first, if not the first, then second, I guess. इससे पहले तो I don't remember. जो tours के साथ होता था, the India A team going ahead of the tour. I think that is the first pandemic. So it's restarting, and that is going to be very beneficial for the younger players. Maybe the likes of Gaikwad and Jaiswal have missed the bus, but jo aage wali generation hai, but for them it will be very, very beneficial. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess Arsh might have received the answer. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions. That's that for today. Thank you so much, everyone. And before wrapping it up, I would say that we had a long discussion around men's cricket and the upcoming series. But for now, you can also enjoy Indian women's cricket team's match against England. The match is going at Wankhede. The match is live. So do watch it. And you can also stay connected with us on Cricket Next with all the details around this match. Indian women's cricket team playing against England in the T20 series. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thanks a lot.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट.